morning, spring football fans. Good morning, UFL fans. How you doing? Well, we had Saturday of week 8. It turned out to be pretty good for conference rival week in the USFL. Yesterday, it was the XFL's turn, and surprisingly, it didn't disappoint. We had two good conference games. I didn't expect from two 1-7 teams on Saturday, with Memphis giving Michigan a pretty good game, but eventually their offensive line and Michigan's running game was the difference in that game. And right after that, Houston, his best offensive performance of the year, fell short 35-28 to Houston. So that was two games I didn't expect. So yesterday was the XFL conference's turn, and those two games didn't disappoint either, especially the first one. St. Louis wins. They defeat DC 26-21, putting pretty much the DC Defender season life support they would need. Arlington upset San Antonio to keep their season going. Jordan Ta'amu had a pretty good game, 23 of 40, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 big interceptions, which really hurt. Manny Wilkins in for the injured A.J. McCarron, 9 of 18, 126 yards. But it was his legs and the St. Louis rushing game that made the difference. St. Louis had 141 yards rushing to 89. The Greg Williams defense has been weak against the run the whole year, and yesterday was no different. Time possession was 32-28 in favor of St. Louis. First downs almost even, 18-17 in favor of St. Louis. And those two interceptions and the few fumbles that DC had were killers. And despite the fact there was no Jacob Pearson, no Marcel Aitman, no A.J. McCarron, the DC defense still gave up 26 points. And St. Louis improves to 6-2. DC goes to 3-5, and their season was now on life support. So we go to the second game. Arlington gave it a pretty good show. I thought they were disappointed. I thought they would upset San Antonio. I've not been impressed with San Antonio. I do believe Arlington was a better team than record, but Arlington disappointed me yesterday. And San Antonio sends the DC Defenders home 20-15. They clinched the last playoff spot, so a Final Four is now set for the XFL Championship games. Offensively, 375-262 in favor of San Antonio. 19-16 in favor of San Antonio first downs. 32-28 on time possession, so it's even. Quentin Dormady probably had his best game of the year, 17-25, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Cordy Latimer and Anthony McFarland were beasts yesterday, each over 100 yards rushing. Luis Perez spread the ball around evenly, well, like he always does. But San Antonio, Wade Phillips is now in the playoffs for the second year in a row, this time as the San Antonio Brahmas coach. Last year, he was knocked out by Bob Stoops and Luis Perez in the championship game. This year, Wade Phillips returns the favor and sends the DC Defenders home. They advance. And our Final Four is pretty much now set with 2 weeks still to go. The only drama we really have left is whether St. Louis or San Antonio will have the home field advantage for the XFL Championship game. Now, the only way Michigan can get the home field advantage of number 1 seed, because of this ridiculous stadium issue that we have, is if Birmingham needs to go 0-2 and Michigan needs to go 2-0. And now, when both these teams playing in the XFL on week 9 on Saturday, we're going to have St. Louis at Arlington, who played probably the game of the year until last week when you had St. Louis and Birmingham play. And then you could have a preview of the championship game between Birmingham going to San Antonio. So your Saturday games are going to be very good this week, which is good because the Sunday games are garbage. DC at Memphis, they're just playing for an NFL edition. And Michigan and Houston. Michigan is playing to keep up where they get number one seed now, but again, with Ford Field not being available for the conference championship game, Birmingham is not going to host the game anyway. So I'm hoping Birmingham just wins this week to really slam the lid on it. And so the only drama we're going to have left is whether St. Louis or San Antonio is going to have the home field advantage for the conference game. And these two teams, both the Blackhawks and the Brahmas, are going to be playing Week 10 against each other at the Dome. And St. Louis already won game on the Brahma early in the season. They win that game, they would have the home field advantage. I'm not going to lie. For the sake of business and for the league, you want to hope that St. Louis has the home field advantage for the conference game. Because our conference championship schedule is already set. Michigan and Birmingham, they're actually going to play at 3 p.m. on a Saturday in Birmingham. Oh, you better hope for good weather. That could be a very hot, humid game. I don't understand why they didn't give them the primetime game the next night on Sunday. But they'll be playing 3 p.m. on Saturday, and San Antonio and St. Louis will be playing each other at 7 p.m. on a Sunday night. That'll be on the Fox game. So there you have it. Pretty much everything set up other than the championship home game for the XFL Conference title game. So what's your opinion? Let me know. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought about this weekend's games. And do you too want to see St. Louis host a game? Because, well, for the sake of the league and an appearance on television, I want this game to look good. You know St. Louis will bring over 30,000. In fact, since it's a playoff game, it may be 40,000. And for the love of football, we'll talk to you guys later.